Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Tropical storm Francine is moving inland here up the Mississippi Valley. It is likely to bring a lot more heavy rain here. I'll show you how much we could see.
And a man is dead after he was hit by a train in Cary. What police say led to this tragedy.
And just days ago, the team aboard the SpaceX Polaris Dawn mission, they went into space, and right now preparations are underway to see them have them perform the first commercial spacewalk. We'll show you in just a bit.
Also, the home of the Carolina Hurricanes and NC State basketball will soon have a new name. It's getting a new look as well. The plans for PNC Arena's redevelopment and the hints that we have gotten about that new name. A little spoiler alert for you there this morning on your Thursday. Thanks for making us part of your routine. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Same old names for us. We're glad you're up with us at this hour as we get you started on this Thursday morning. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Speaking of names, Francine is one that we're talking a lot about, and right now hitting the Gulf states pretty hard.
Yes, it made landfall yesterday evening, moving northward. Lots and lots of rain with this. We've seen in New Orleans as much as 8 inches of rain showing up on the radar. We'll take a look at that. We haven't seen a lot of tornadoes. That's a tornado watch there in red. Fortunately, we've not seen much of that this morning. The center of circulation, 60 miles north of New Orleans and really moving on up into Mississippi at this point, northeast at 12 miles per hour, winds at 45. By later this afternoon, it's likely to be just a tropical depression, so it won't be about the wind anymore, but lots and lots of heavy rain along the path of the storm from Mississippi and a lot of the deep south. Now, yesterday it looked like we may stay fairly dry this weekend, but it's now looking like we're going to be adding a better chance for rain and starting tomorrow. And then, of course, yesterday we started talking about the potential for a low to develop offshore early next week, unrelated to Francine. This one could produce some breezy conditions, potentially some minor wind damage along the coast and some very heavy rain for parts of the state, including right here on Monday and Tuesday. Heading out the door right now, temperatures are in the mid-60s. It's comfortable. We're going to see a lot more cloud cover for it today. Boy, those clouds roll in and are likely to be with us well into next week. Our high this afternoon will be in the low 80s. Coming up, we'll talk more about how much rain we could see here with that second system. Ken?
Elizabeth, at 6:02, no trouble to report on any of our major roads. We do have a report of some type of road hazard in the intersection of Northbrook and North Hills Road. Just thought you should know about it. Not really causing any major problems for you this morning. Let's head outside, shall we? Give you a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. Traffic has definitely picked up quite a bit, but you can see it's delay-free in both directions.
Ken, thanks. We're following breaking news. A man is dead after he was hit by an Amtrak train. Police say this happened near the large Hindu temple off Chapel Hill Road around 10:45 last night. Police say the man was standing on the tracks as the train approached the station. The train was delayed for several hours before leaving the station around 4:30 this morning, just 90 minutes ago. It was headed to Raleigh from Charlotte. No one on board was hurt.
One person was forced out of their home after a fire started in the kitchen. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker that shows crews responding to the home. This is on Picardy Village Place, right near Southwest Cary Parkway. It happened about 8 o'clock last night. The homeowner was there alone when that fire broke out. They were treated for minor smoke inhalation. Investigators say they don't know exactly yet what started that fire.
We want to give you a live look at Jackson, Mississippi right now, where Francine, now a tropical storm, is bringing strong winds and heavy rain to the area. More than 380,000 customers are without power right now across the state. People are urged to stay off the roads as dangerous flooding is being reported there. Also, take a look at this. A driver was saved from a submerged car last night in New Orleans. This rescue was captured on live TV. A reporter from the NBC affiliate in New Orleans spotted a truck going under after it drove around barricades, and he says he flagged down a nearby police officer. A Good Samaritan saw what was happening, ran home to grab something to break the car window, and he was able to pull the driver out and get the driver to safety.
3 people are hurt after a drive-by shooting in Halifax County. Authorities say the shooting happened around 6 last night on Washington Avenue in Weldon. The Weldon police chief says 2 of the 3 people shot were taken to the hospital. He didn't know what their conditions were. We're also working to learn their ages. Police say 3 people have been detained for questioning. The motive in this case is unclear. Today, what we've come to know as PNC Arena will now have a new name. The home of the Carolina Hurricanes, NC State basketball, it'll officially be renamed today. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live in Raleigh. And Kelsey, we've had a few hints over this the last couple of days before the official name reveal.
Jeff, there was definitely a hashtag spoiler alert with this one. So the name Lenovo Center was unintentionally revealed in a trailer for a professional hockey video game. And we can see here, if we pan up a little bit, it looks like that this sign here used to be a PNC Arena sign, and now that's been removed. But we'll also give you a look now at video that we captured yesterday of crews changing the signage outside the arena. The Centennial Authority owns this venue. They're scheduled to meet this morning to make the name change official. Take a look at the redevelopment plans around the arena that are already in the works. You can see the revamped arena there. Lenovo will be capitalizing on this new exposure for their brand.
This comes at a time when PNC Arena is set to undergo a $300 million renovation, as well as what could be a $1 billion redevelopment project around the arena. So the naming rights for this building are more prominent than they have been in the past.
Work won't begin on that redevelopment project until the end of next year if this plan continues to move forward. But we should get information about that new name officially at 9 o'clock this morning. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Covering Wake County, parents can get more information tonight on the district's plan to open new schools next year. There will be a virtual info session. The district will focus on Bowling Road Elementary, Rex Road Elementary, and other possible changes. That session runs from 6 to 7:30 tonight. The first draft of the plan for next school year was released last week. More information sessions will be happening in the next couple months.
A 16-year-old student is in custody, facing charges after bringing a stolen and loaded gun to school. This happened at Durham's Holton Career and Resource Center. On Monday in Wake County, police say a Sanderson High School student brought a gun onto a school bus. Raleigh police said juvenile petitions will be filed on that student. North Carolina law states that a student who brings a firearm onto campus faces a 365-day suspension. Wake County's district attorney says it's a felony.
Probationary sentence normally. They're going to take pretty restrictive action on, where you can go and what you can do. There's going to usually be other sanctions associated with that.
Students aren't the only ones who could face legal trouble in these situations. Parents can face charges as well. Durham and Wake County leaders stress the importance of speaking up and reporting weapons on campus and securing firearms at home. Another school threat just one day after 40 schools in North Carolina were targeted by hoax calls. Pinecrest High School in Southern Pines was on a soft lockdown yesterday as police investigated. Officials say no actual threat was found. And on Tuesday, schools across the state, including in Wake and Moore counties, were targeted by these false threats.
Take a look at this doorbell video. You want a shocking scenario here. A man dressed like a delivery driver walks up to a porch and steals a package. This happened just minutes after the real delivery was made. The homeowner says he had been parked near the home waiting for his delivery in the Westlake neighborhood. This is in Raleigh. The thief stole a new iPad just 4 minutes after it was delivered. A FedEx representative told the homeowner they have seen more and more packages from AT&T getting stolen as the boxes tend to be obvious.
The coincidence that it was something expensive like that, you just know that there's more involved that you don't understand.
Yeah, this man hopes to raise awareness so others don't fall victim heading into the holidays. FedEx says you can use its delivery manager to control the timing and location of deliveries. Well, today, an important inflation report will be released. The August Producer Price Index. That report is scheduled to come out at 8:30 this morning. It measures the changes in the cost of doing business for companies. This is in addition to yesterday's Consumer Price Index report that could factor into next week's Federal Reserve meeting and whether we see a long-awaited rate decrease. We'll bring the results of this inflation report to you the moment we get it.
Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. Just fascinating watching right now these astronauts prepare for the first commercial spacewalk. This is the SpaceX Polaris Dawn team. They are moments away from going outside, exposing the inside of the craft to the outside of space. And essentially what they have been doing is a bunch of different checks. They were checking their suits to make sure they were pressurized properly. They've been doing what's called pre-breathing. Basically, they purge nitrogen from their blood so that when the capsule is depressurized and exposed to the vacuum of space, gas doesn't form bubbles in their bloodstream. If you've ever scuba dove before, you probably know that the bends is a thing, right? You resurface too quickly. That's the concern here. So we're going to come back to this the moment we see them performing that spacewalk here in the WRAL Live Center. Stay with WRAL this morning.
Chris, thanks. It is 6:10. John Bon Jovi is being credited with saving a woman's life. How he was able to help a woman who was in the middle of a crisis on this Nashville, Tennessee bridge.
And it was a huge night at the MTV Video Music Awards. We'll show you the biggest moments and who took home the most awards.
And today the clouds roll in and then the rain. We do have the potential for some showers over the weekend. And unfortunately for folks who have outdoor plans, we're trending a little wetter. I'll show you.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, look at this sunrise. Absolutely beautiful, but definitely more cloud cover than we've seen the last several days. And boy, the sun's going to be pretty tough to come by for the next few days. As a matter of fact, even into early next week. So pretty sunrise here, but we'll continue to see those clouds thickening up. Those clouds are from Francine. The rain from Francine stretches from South Carolina to Oklahoma. I'll show you that and how our forecast is changing a little bit for the weekend coming up. But 62 in Southern Pines, 63 Irwin, 57 in South Hill. Just a little bit warmer than it was this time yesterday. Still great weather for heading out for a run or a walk or whatever you like to do first thing in the morning. Our temperature this afternoon definitely on the mild side in the low 80s. We will also see our humidity climbing as our chance for rain increases this weekend. I'll show you that coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Just got reports of Raleigh police working a crash on the westbound lanes of I-40 near South Saunders Street. It just happened in the last few minutes or so it's not causing any problems on those westbound lanes just yet, but of course I'll keep an eye on it. Elsewhere in Wake County and surrounding communities, all the major roads are delay-free at this hour. Of course, we'll be here to let you know if anything happens so you can make an informed decision about your morning commute.
A woman had a life-altering experience with rocker John Bon Jovi, right at a moment when it appeared she wanted to end her own life. Reports say John Bon Jovi was on this pedestrian bridge in Nashville, Tennessee for a shoot when he approached a woman who appeared to be getting ready to jump off that bridge. You see Bon Jovi in this video. He talks to the woman. She comes off the ledge. She hugs him. Both the Nashville Fire and Police Departments responded to that scene. September is Suicide Prevention Month. If you or anyone you know is having mental health challenges, thoughts of suicide, or going through a crisis, you can call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 988.
We are getting an idea of how the UNC system is getting rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Across the system, 59 jobs were cut and 131 were reassigned. In all, the system saved $17 million. UNC Chapel Hill eliminated the most jobs at 20. It also saved the most money, more than $5 million. The Board of Governors emphasized the UNC system is inclusive and open to everyone.
It was a star-studded evening at the MTV Video Music Awards last night and a record-breaking night for Taylor Swift. Shocking, right? WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here now with the big moments. Michelle.
We're not shocked, Jeff. We're not. Taylor Swift brought her career total to a record-breaking 30 VMAs, taking home 7 trophies. She now matches Beyonce's record. Megan Thee Stallion hosted, performed, and even recreated some iconic VMA moments from over the years, like this one. Sabrina Carpenter took home Song of the Year for Espresso, and Best New Artist went to Chappell Roan. Orlando Bloom also presented his fiancée Katy Perry with this year's Video Vanguard Award after she performed several of her hits. And Swift ended the evening taking home the trophy for Video of the Year. And while thanking fans, she also thanked someone she said was always cheering her on in the studio.
I would always just hear like someone like cheering and like woo, like from across the studio where we were shooting it, and that one person was my boyfriend Travis. everything this man touches turns to happiness and fun and magic. Way to say thank you.
She seems so happy. She also took home awards for Best Pop, Best Artist, Best Director, Best Collaboration, and also Best Editing. And at the end of her speech, she reminded everyone of age to vote in the presidential election.
All right, Michelle, thanks. We could see a Taylor Swift effect on the election. Right now, it's the Francine effect affecting the Gulf states right now. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. A lot of heavy rain with this one.
Definitely. The storm system itself, the center of circulation, made landfall yesterday, late afternoon, evening, around 6 o'clock our time, 5 o'clock local time there, and has moved past New Orleans. So the strongest winds are now down to around 40, 45 miles per hour, so causing some minor damage, but it's really the rain at this point as it moves up the Mississippi Valley. And look at this. The rain stretches from off the coast of South Carolina all the way back to Oklahoma. So there's a lot of rain with this. Let's talk about how much rain has fallen so far. You can see radar estimates of around 8 inches in New Orleans, and then that stretches back a good chunk of southeastern Louisiana, seeing really heavy rainfall, 6 to 8 inches. You can see there the northeastern corner, almost 7 inches. Around Gulfport, Mississippi, we're looking at almost 5 inches. Another area at around 7 inches there around the New Orleans area. Widen out the view a little bit. There's some other pockets that are starting to total up as well, as much as 3 to 4 inches, and we'll continue to see those numbers climb as this moves northward. This is a look at some of the estimates for what's to come here, and you can see these brown shaded areas in particular. That's going to put us up to around 8 inches. Notice what happens here off the coast of North Carolina. Also, 6 to 8 inches of rainfall with a second system. This is not from Francine, but a low that may develop off the coast of North Carolina, a separate system. And we have a 30% chance over the next 7 days that this would develop into a tropical system. Whether it does or not, it is still likely to produce winds up to 40 miles per hour along our coast with some erosion and overwash and then some very heavy rain. Right now, we're looking at the potential for around 1 to 3 inches, but it could be much heavier than that closer to the Wilmington area. This is a look at the remnants of Francine. It's going to just become remnants in the next 24 hours. And then that secondary low develops out here in the Atlantic as we get into the weekend. And by late Sunday into early Monday, that starts to shift onshore. You can see that happening here. Again, lots of heavy rain with this as this new low forms, and we'll let you know if it becomes a tropical system. Around the Wilmington area, up to 5 inches of rain out of this one. And that's going to be late Sunday into the first couple of days of next week. Anywhere from 1 to 3 inches for us, maybe up to 5 inches in Asheville. And the tropics are really getting cranked up now. We do have Tropical Depression 7 out here in the East Atlantic, not affecting land anytime in the next week, but it could be a player. If it gets a name, it would be Gordon. That's the next name on the list. Around here, we're going to see increasing clouds. And then look at this. We have a chance of rain starting tomorrow every day through the middle of next week. So not a lot of sunshine coming our way in the next 7 days, but temperatures are going to stay on the mild side. And again, especially Monday and Tuesday, we're watching those days very closely. We could have some flooding around our area and definitely some very heavy rain early next week, Ken.
All right, it's 6:20, Elizabeth. We continue to monitor a crash that just happened in the last few minutes or so on those westbound lanes of I-40. We're talking about this is a crash right here on South Saunders Street. We're seeing a little bit of delay that's happening right now on those westbound lanes. We'll keep an eye on that. Right now, it's looking like at least 2 or 3 minute delay if you're heading in that direction. But we'll keep you posted here in the WRAL Traffic Center, of course. Let's look at I-40 in South Saunders. So you can't see the crash on this particular camera, but you can see that traffic is flowing nicely in both directions.
The Durham Public School Board will have a long-awaited meeting tonight to discuss employee pay. After protests over pay last school year, what we expect from their new salary step plan coming up.
Also, a Durham student is in custody after bringing a loaded gun to school. Just ahead, the consequences students and their parents could face in these situations.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Well, Flavor Flav followed through on his promise to give Olympian Jordan Childs a bronze clock.
Ken Smith here now with What's Trending. Ken.
You know, Jeffrey, all recall Childs was stripped of her bronze medal on a technicality during the Olympics. So Flavor Flav surprised her at the VMAs with a bronze clock no one could take away from her. The two then presented the award for Best Collaboration, which went to Taylor Swift and Post Malone.
So they're getting a lot of mileage out of that, and that's just good fun. Look at the hype man for the water polo team. He put the cap on. And obviously he has give some love to the gymnastics as well. He's a man about the Olympics.
For sure. Great hype man.
Good news for Bridgerton fans. We now know who will be playing the leading lady in Bridgerton Season 4. Netflix announcing Yerin Ha will play Sophie Beck, the love interest of Benedict Bridgerton. The actress is known for her work in Halo and upcoming Dune Prophecy.
And for devoted Bridgerton readers, the role is actually Sophie Beckett, but they changed it to Sophie Beck, B-A-E-K, as a nod to Yerin Ha's heritage there. But very exciting. Another Asian female lead for Bridgerton. You'll remember season 2, Simone Ashley playing Kate Sharma. She was of South Asian descent, so excited to see Benedict's chapter.
Bring it on.
Thanks, Ken.
Sure.
Asheville's Ashes and Arrows fighting for a spot for America's Got Talent in the finale.
Performing their new original song, Hang On, for the judges. Take a listen.
grab this life by the reins and I'll never loosen my hold. I'm gonna be headstrong, chasing down my demons and I'll never...
12 acts remain and only 6 will advance to next week's finale. Voting wraps up at 7 this morning. Results will be released later today.
And taking a look at our school day forecast, the temperatures are going to be on the mild side in the low 60s and then high this afternoon of around 80 degrees. The big thing you'll notice today is increasing cloud cover, and our chances for rain over the weekend are starting to creep up a little bit. I'll show you coming up.
And PNC Arena is getting a new name, and we already have some big hits for what it could be coming up when that name change will be official.